Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trevor Plays here, back again with some more One Piece, and we are here with chapter 1114 or 1114, titled "The Wings of Icarus." Um, I am using my phone because the website was not loading for me, so I will be reading off of my phone. So if you see me looking down, that is why. Um, we have Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage. Volume 4. Go enshrine this sword at Hakumai Senma Shrine in Yasue's stead. That is your surrogate pilgrimage. And this is all right. Yamato gives a big thumbs up to Kinemon. All right, here we go. Navy HQ, New World. The world will sink under the sea? Dr. Vegapunk, what are you talking about? And then we see Akainu. Mocktown. Now that's funny. So he decides that when he dies, he's gonna go out throwing the world into chaos. How exactly is the entire world gonna sink underwater, man? Water 7. Around here, we believe him. But the whole world? He's not talking about high and low tides, is he? And then we see Polly, who was a potential candidate to be a Straw Hat member before we got introduced to Frankie. Impel down. Oh, that's rich. What if seawater floods down into Impel Down? Isn't it your job to ensure the safety of the prisoners under your care, Magellan? Says Doflamingo. That 1 meter rise the other day had the prison panicking. How many meters does it take to sink the whole world? Most cities in the world will be wiped out with an extra 5 meters of water. What do you think? Should we all move to much higher ground? Ryukyu Kingdom, Fishman Island. Father, what is going to happen? It just sounds so absurd. Future Island Egghead. What is he talking about? This is coming from the world's greatest scientist. He can wreak havoc on the world even with a lie. This is utter nonsense, Dr. Vegapunk. Destroy the transmission transponder snail. In fact, destroy any life form you can hear. Everything else is secondary. How much are you going to tell them, Stella? Now, speaking of the near future for me, assuming that the sensors I built are functioning correctly, in the days after I record this message, there should be a most remarkable earthquake that strikes the entire planet. Huh? Is he talking about the earthquake from today? But Vegapunk's already dead, supposedly, says Smoothie. As a result of that, the sea should rise about 1 meter around the world, rendering some islands uninhabitable. Huh? Was that a prophecy? Beaches around the world will be lost for good. If I am wrong in this prediction, feel free to disregard the rest of this message. How? That's freaky, man. He totally nailed it. If this has happened, however, you should heed my words very carefully. This particular earthquake is not exactly what I would call a natural phenomenon. Okay, Vegapunk, what are you talking about? Alright. Vegapunk, don't you dare say another word. Go away! In my own way, I only ever hoped for peace. Be gone! But, okay, I gotta hold it sideways because it's a double page spread. But, this was the root of my first sin. What about the power plant, Mars? Not yet. That chamber must not be harmed. Above all else, I will go. I dreamt of a source of endless, eternal energy, and in my desire to push the world forward into the future. Ah, the mother flame. I flew too close to the sun. Destroy every sign of life in the lab. Not that one either. And then we see the mother flame. Allow me to explain. It's no good. That didn't work. Just what it is. We can't even make that thing so much as flinch. And then, oh, that's hot. That is happening to our world. Hurry, before we get roasted alive. From about 900 years ago to 800 years ago, a period of a century. There is a span of history that is completely and entirely blank. What are you doing, Navy? Make him stop talking! We call this the Void Century, because all records from this time were eliminated. The only means to know this lost piece of history. An execution is too good for him. Bring his body, I'll mutilate the corpse. Void Century? What is that? As we have one of the celestial dragons. Confused. And we've seen her before. She's shown up a couple times already. I don't remember if she was given a name, because I don't know. I'm trying to remember all these characters, but yeah. Is to find a message from the past in the form of poneglyphs scattered across the world and decipher its contents. And we see a silhouette. And then a giant. And of course, the Darashishishi. Well, long, long ago, Orangetown, East Blue, there were 20 kings who got together, and they created the world. Doesn't that man know that? What do you think, Chow Chow? However, the world government has made it a crime of the highest order to decipher the message of the poneglyphs, and despite being a member of the government myself, I broke this law. That was my second sin. Through the sheer tenacity of a group of excellent archaeologists, I inherited some texts and a number of poneglyphs which I have deciphered. Zoro! Jinbei! Says Brooke. And continued studying to the best of my ability. I regret none of this. History, you see, tells a story. Wait, something moved. Huh? Look! Are the clouds extending outward? So when Edison said he would make sure we touched down on water, did he mean, oh, good point. If the clouds stretch further out, we can reach the sea. Now, get off this island, Straw Hats, and don't let the government lay a hand on you. In other words, What I know is an incomplete story of that 100-year void. It would be dishonest to fill the blanks with my own speculation. So I will leave you only with the verified truth. Hey, Straw Hat, don't push your luck. The main character of this story was born into a kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization 900 years ago. This one'll hurt ya. Like the sun god Nika spoken of in Elbath legend, he fought with a body that stretched and contracted. His name was Joy Boy. Hey, stop trying to make us laugh. And he was the very first man on this sea to be called a pirate. To be continued. Oh man. Oh man. Alright. There's a lot of overlapping text and stuff. So I think I'm going to do what I did last time and read through all of Vegapunk's entire message. Again. Now, speaking of the near future for me, assuming that the sensors I built are functioning correctly, in the days after I record this message, there should be a most remarkable earthquake that strikes the entire planet. As a result of that, the sea should rise about 1 meter around the world, rendering some islands uninhabitable. Beaches around the world will be lost for good. If I am wrong in this prediction, feel free to disregard the rest of this message. If this has happened, however, you should heed my words very carefully. This particular earthquake is not exactly what I would call a natural phenomenon. In my own way, I only ever hoped for peace. But this was the root of my first sin. I dreamt of a source of endless eternal energy, and in my desire to push the world forward into the future, I flew too close to the sun. Allow me to explain just what it is that is happening to our world. From about 900 years ago to 800 years ago, a period of a century, there is a span of history that is completely and entirely blank. We call this the Void Century because all records from this time were eliminated. The only means to know this lost piece of history is to find a message from the past in the form of poneglyphs scattered across the world and decipher its contents. However, the world government has made it a crime of the highest order to decipher the message of the poneglyphs, and despite being a member of the government myself, I broke this law. That was my second sin. Through the sheer tenacity of a group of excellent archaeologists, I inherited some texts and a number of poneglyphs, which I have deciphered, and continued studying to the best of my ability. I regret none of this. History, you see, tells a story. In other words, what I know is an incomplete story of that 100-year void. It would be dishonest to fill the blanks with my own speculation, so I will leave you only with the verified truth. The main character of this story was born into a kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization 900 years ago. Like the sun god Nika spoken of in Elbath legend, he fought with a body that stretched and contracted. His name was Joy Boy, and he was the very first man on this sea to be called a pirate. All right. So that was Vegapunk's message to the world. Obviously, the earthquake that they are talking about is when Eam used what is likely Uranus to destroy the Lelucia kingdom, an island of Lelucia, and just poof, create a giant hole in the ground. And the water is filling in and whatnot. That was essentially the earthquake that Vegapunk is talking about. So, okay. Then we're also then introduced to the Mother Flame. There is a bit of mystery still here with the Mother Flame. We can assume that this is the source of endless eternal energy that Vegapunk is talking about, and all of that. And then also seeing that, we do see Eam show up. That just does a ... as well, that is silhouetted. And then again, we do see the celestial dragons. They're mad and everything. And then there is that one female, like I mentioned before. If I remember correctly, she showed up a while ago, and whenever the Straw Hats kind of dressed up as them, I believe, unless that was a filler episode, I can't remember. Nami was dressed up like her, if I believe correctly. So there's that. So she's a character that's like, the Void Century, what is that? She has no idea what the Void Century is. So I see what Oda's doing a little bit of like hinting at there may be some celestial dragons that do not know what the Void Century is, compared to everybody else that does. We get to see everybody pretty much around the world as well. We see Margaret and a bunch of the Kuja pirates. We see Chow Chow, the dog in Orangetown, and the mayor of Orangetown as well. And then, like I said before, we see Smoothie. We see the Kingdom of Alabasta as well. We see Magellan and Doflamingo. We see Fishman Island. We see Polly from Water 7. Like I said, we see Akainu as well. So we're seeing that, yes, the message has been spread around the world and everybody's hearing it. And all of that. And of course, Luffy is fighting one of the 5 elders. But also the fact that this message has revealed that Joy Boy is the first person on the sea to be called a pirate. He also had the same abilities that Luffy has to stretch and contract, and all of that. So if people are going to be able to put stuff together, they will find out that Luffy is a reincarnation of Joy Boy, as well. But also the kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization, which is very true, because That is very true. We find out from some of the notes and everything. Like there's so much stuff in this that I'm trying to unpack and just get. But like there's so much of the One Piece lore that I'm like not remembering right now at all. But yeah, this chapter is really good. I don't know what's next. The only thing I can think of is that people are gonna try to piece together that the fact that Luffy um kind of has the whole like powers and everything, like he can stretch and do all that other stuff, but then also his new updated wanted poster is gear 5. So I don't know exactly. Um and then again there's the whole thing about the mother flame and the internal source of energy and whatnot for the future and everything, and this is still here, and it doesn't look like they're destroying it though. They're destroying everything else, but there's that. But then again, I guess if you destroy everything else around it, then it might not be working anymore, or whatever it's supposed to be fueling, or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what One Piece is turning into, but oh my god, am I loving it. This is crazy. But then also, yeah, to find out Joy Boy was the first person to be called a pirate. Awesome. It was not Roger. But obviously, you know, there were pirates. Obviously, there were pirates in Roger's time. So, yeah, the fact that Joy Boy is the first person to be called a pirate is a historical event, as well as a monumentous reveal to the entire world. It's crazy. The only thing I can think of is we're going to continue next with the rest of the message, because I think Vegapunk said he had 3 sins, and we learned the first 2 in this one, so I think the last one we're gonna hear, and then we're gonna get possibly either the final bit of Egghead Island, or we have one more chapter after that, and we should be heading off to Elbath after that, which is going to be fun and exciting and crazy, because we'll finally get Usopp's storyline to come back around into that, being a brave warrior of the sea. We'll have some of the we'll have Lilith. It seems we will have Lilith with us with the Straw Hats, so that'll be fun. And yeah, like at least there will still be some Vegapunk left. Oh, and Atlas is there too. So yeah, we'll have Lilith and Atlas, so that'll be fun. Really, I was hoping Frankie would get an upgrade. Maybe he'll find some stuff from Vegapunk, or because we'll have Lilith and Atlas with the Straw Hats for a bit while they travel to Elbath and journey through Elbath for a bit. There's that possibility as well, where Frankie can possibly get an upgrade. Usopp could probably get an upgrade as well, because he does tinker and dabble in that. But also for Usopp is the whole stuff with the giants and Elbath in general. So I know that all of us are excited to finally get to Elbath, and honestly, so am I. And we have another reason to, is because Saul is there, and we'll get the reunion with Robin, and we'll cry and weep and be out of commission for a while, trying to recover from the emotional damage that Oda is going to bestow upon us when that scene happens. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy this live reaction to the chapter, please hit that thumbs up button. Leave some comments down below on what you guys thought. And if you're new to my channel, please consider hitting the subscribe and notification bell. And I'll see you guys next time.